Good morning, everyone, and welcome to round 3 commentary of the North American Youth Chess Championships. I'm WGM Sabina Feuchter, streaming on both US chess channels and my Twitch channel. Great to be back with hopefully another exciting round of chess. Yesterday we've seen some upsets, but today, who knows what today will bring? We don't know yet. But we'll find out as we go along and follow some of these kids' games. For those of you who don't know, the North American Championship is inviting players from the United States, Mexico, and Canada. And we have quite a lot of players from each section, And I have updated actually the commands, and I pinned them to both my chat and the US chess chat just to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to check out where the games are in case you want to, just to kind of make it easy, I guess, in a way, to know where I come from with the games. So it's today there's just one round, by the way. So today I'll be live for just one round, and tomorrow we're back to 2 rounds. The first one will be at 9 a.m. and the next one at 3 p.m. But without further ado, let's get into the games and see what today brings. And welcome everyone. Let me know where you're watching from, if you're rooting for someone in particular, and if you'd like me to focus on any particular game or go back to a particular game. Hi Dylan, thank you so much. You're very kind. Let's see board 1. So we have Zoe Tang. Zoe is one of the young and talented American female chess players. She recently competed in the Continental Women's Championship, where she finished second, which is pretty wonderful. And she plays against Aaron Mendes, the highest rated player in the under 18 section. Looks like they went for an exchange Slav, knight c3, knight f6, knight f3. Okay. This is still quite theoretical so far. Typically, what happens is white, of course, wants to get that bishop out in order to have some pressures on c7. Then they try to, have threats with knight b5. That's the reason for black's a6 response. As for black, what they try to do is, like, it happened in this game, get the bishop out, maybe have the opportunity to play e6, trade this bishop, and then, the position is kind of equal, but there's always something to play for. There's always various ideas that both players can come up with. So I'm actually curious how it is. The Slav defense presents to be as a type of defense that you can play with the black pieces that's kind of solid, right? So usually people, go for solid defenses when they feel their opponent is someone they take seriously. That's how I like to believe. But in other cases, this is their main repertoire. They feel comfortable with those kind of pawn structures and they just want to play them. So I will come back to this game to catch up with how things go. Looks like we're not getting any moves from this position, so maybe the players are late to the game, or maybe just some transmission error. On board 3, we have Richard Zhang against Andrew Wu. Andrew had that really nice game against another Canadian player that he upset, and it was my game of the day yesterday. And today, what are we having? Some kind of English. Okay. And black adopts a setup like the Meran or semi-Slav. I call this the Meran. You guys can call it semi-Slav. As long as we're on the same page with the name, I think that's okay. I know usually when I teach or do commentary and I make supposedly a blunder with my definition of the opening, people like to correct me. So I'll say it in advance. That's okay. We all have different ways that we say things. So queen c2, very normal. When people play with c4, I gotta say it could be a bit more flexible than playing d4 first move if you are attempting to transfer to d4 openings. and you're sure you're getting a kind of setup that you want. But of course, you have to be ready for other things like systems where black plays with e5 or c5. But here looks like very soon it was transferred to a semi-Slav as white played the move d4. This move was kind of necessary to control e5. If not, at some point black might take and go e5, and then you might not want to play those kind of positions. Anyways, e5 was played, and it's kind of interesting because I know I've played this against this setup without a6, so technically white either has the bishop in f1 or the bishop in c1, right? If these two moves don't exist, the bishop is in c1. And I've seen people play e5 even without a6. I mean, yeah, a6 could be a helpful tool because it avoids the move knight to b5, but in the same time, it could be also like a waste of time. So the position is quite equal. I would say black has equalized here. I've attempted to play this myself with the white pieces, and I didn't get much. I mean, the point is that you'd love to make some more trades and then minor piece trades so that you can focus on the weakness of the d5 pawn that's isolated in the center, but it just depends. Okay, let's move on to the next game. So we have I was about to say QGD, but it's a QGD, interesting QGD without the bishop going to g5. What happened here? So white in this position decided to go for e3, locking its bishop on c1. I mean, a bishop g5 is the more natural kind of approach, right? So we'll have to see how the game proceeds. Okay, so QGD with the bishop in c1. I don't know. You still call this QGD? I think so. It's still Queen's Gambit. But now with white, you have to figure out how to proceed with your development. The queen usually belongs to e2. I mean, that's quite clear. As for this bishop in c1, you're either gonna go with e4 and then you're gonna take it to g5, or you're gonna play b3 bishop e2. So either one of these moves is going to be fine here. Oh, we've had quite a number of moves in this game. So it was a kind of Tarrasch, semi-Tarrasch. Semi-Tarrasch looks like. Okay, semi-Tarrasch. Knight d5. Okay, and this. This line is quite interesting, and the reason I say that is because black gives up the center fully. Totally just says, I don't need the center, but I'm trading a lot of your pieces. So how are you going to attack me? That's basically what he's saying. So you need to come up with some ways with white to attack, and this is still theory. White played d5 fast. Okay. Now, that is not a move I see a lot. Usually people prep things like a4, rook d1, rook e1, things like that they try to prepare a bit more their break in the center. I don't believe I've seen d5 that soon. I mean, it exists, of course, but I don't believe I've seen it that soon in this position. But white went for d5. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so he's trying to get his pass pawn as soon as possible. I guess it makes sense, kind of, a bit. Queen d6, so this is the current position we're having right now. Taurus, hey! New mug? Well, same mug. Thanks, thank you, Dylan. Same mug, okay? No, not same mug. Yeah, new mug, but not like new, like I bought it recently. Like I had it for a while. Yeah, this is my love mug. Wait, you guys can't see it. Oh, wait, here you can see it. How do I do this? Okay. My Philadelphia love mug. Sad memories. Philadelphia has always been a place where I did not do very well when I played in the tournaments there. But yeah, yesterday I tried not to drink coffee. Today I told myself, like, I need to have it because it's gonna be my longest day in a while after barely having recovered from my last trip. I thought if I take a shower in the morning, I would be more awake, but no, I'm awake. I'm kidding. But what I did not think through is my hair. So I'm feeling that I'm not prepared for the stream. It's funny, in the past when I was streaming, I usually would just make sure I get dressed nicely and everything, and Elshon would often make some jokes about it, like, why nobody sees you, why do you even why do you care? And I was like, well, I care about myself. What do you mean? But today I decided to just find the energy to work, because tonight I need to work till I think 11 something p.m. So that's gonna be kind of an interesting thing. Pumpkin in Rook, Liberty Bell National Chess Congress will be good for you in the future. We saw you in Philly a couple of years back. Yes. I mean, I've played in those. It's just like I didn't really do as well as I wanted. I think maybe 1 year I did well, but mostly I didn't do so well. Hair looks amazing. Not to me. It's like this. It's not the kind of hair you want to have, trust me. Yeah, Dylan, you better not reschedule the class today, because I'm mentally ready for that class, okay? Mentally ready. But no, I've kind of scheduled too many things today because I knew it was just one round for the commentary, and I thought, well, I can definitely handle this, until I realized that everyone accepted whatever I told them for Thursday. Suddenly everyone kind of accepted in the same time. But it's okay, we're ready, right? We're ready here to find some exciting games, and sorry, those would be my motivation. Those would be my motivation things for staying up, for working hard. No, I'm super excited about this commentary, and I'm also very excited about the interview that I'll conduct later today for YouTube, for US Chess YouTube page. I was a bit disappointed that it's not gonna show, because I already kind of made an announcement, and then I'm trying to pretend like I didn't make any announcement. But it's gonna be a fun story that once it gets published, I think you guys will enjoy. So here, what do we have? I see a lot of people doing this, and I just don't know how I feel about it. My students do this too, and I'm just not the biggest fan for White's bishop. Like this bishop, I'm not a huge fan, but you're trying to stop b5, but everyone does it, so it must be the way to go. I guess knight b8 would be my choice here. And then, of course, knight d7, maybe a5, knight c5, something like that. Or black can focus on trying to trade this bishop. In some cases, they play h6, knight h7, bishop g5. You'll have to wait and see how things will go in this game. I just want to kind of catch up with the opening, because sometimes I feel that I'm quite behind because they play too fast, and then I'm kind of really behind. But today I decided to be on time. So Alapin seems to be the most popular thing against the Sicilian whenever you're not ready to play an open Sicilian, basically. And I've seen this line recently when my students played, and with the white, I think basically what you're getting in this position is the diagonal and the pawn in the center. This pawn should be the strength of helping you get an outpost here later in the game and take control over the d file. So you're getting that diagonal. You can also go bishop c4, of course, or bishop e5, but yeah. Here, bishop d3. Takes, takes, knight b4. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. So where does this bishop go? If you go here, we're gonna trade queens, I believe. At least you got the king in the center. If you give this checky, I think black can play knight c6. And the point is, you know, any trades, you have to be careful of knight c2 later. So, you know. Okay. We'll be back to that game. We had a Catalan. I'm curious about the openings these kids play. They're not that kids. These are under 16. Still kids. Bishop takes d5. So, you know, I used to play these lines, but I was getting into similar positions from the Nimzo Indian. There are some ways you can get into those kind of positions from a Nimzo Indian, like something like this, I think. And then we c5. And at some point, you know, some things trade or with d5 and takes in c4. I mean, there's various ways you can get into those kind of positions, because I know I was playing with g3, so maybe it was d5 and something. The reason I'm mentioning that is because what you want to do with black here is, yeah, b5 and then bishop b7, and then at some point you're going to get c5 in and try to have more control over the center and put the pressure. Definitely this is something you do. And white, of course, has the c file, has the ideas to go e4. c7 is weak, so if you don't get c5 in, you might be struggling with that. You definitely don't want to go bishop b7 and c6, so that's the thing you don't do. Remember that game yesterday where black died with the bishop in b7? We are trying to avoid that for sure. The French. This line, we've seen this line yesterday as well. I think it was still Steven who played it. No, Steven played something else. So he changed today. c6. Yeah, okay, we'll go back. We'll go back, we'll try to castle. So from yesterday, I was explaining to you that these pawns, if they ever get pushed, it's f5 that needs to be pushed, not e. This is very important because e allows those two weak pawns, but this way it's not. So, you know, this is something you want to remember. The bishop goes to f6 and then you're trying to put some pressure in the center. Ronan is back on a top board. Yesterday he drew his game, and we have an accelerated dragon, Marzi Bind. Okay, I used to play. When I played the e4, you know, when I was younger, this was something that I would consider playing because, you know, you're controlling the g4 square. There's no knight g4 that can happen. At some point you retreat with the queen. There it is, and then you're gonna kind of sit rook c8, rook c1, or rook d1, pawn b3. At some point you'll get this knight in the center. That's one attempt in order to try to kind of hold on to the position and keep the extra space. I'm curious how well Ronan knows these plans, so I'm definitely coming back. I'm just surprised about the time difference. It could be just that they are delayed by those two moves. And here we have another Sicilian. Which one was this? Taimanov Sicilian. Okay. Well, this is gonna be a fun game because what do we attempt here? A3, is that the move? Actually, maybe it's not. Is it f3? But I don't know. Is it knight takes c6? Maybe it's knight takes c6. Knight takes c6. D takes c6. f4. And we have this pawn structure where white's got a bit more space on the king side. Black will attempt that c-pawn push to have more space on the queen side, and it will be a game. Oh, I want to see this game definitely. This is a Scotch. And in the Scotch, with long castle, I saw that in that position that we got into, it was a long castle. So this is going to be a spicy game, I'm sure, because when we're dealing with opposite side castling, it's a race. Who gets to the other king first? So, we're definitely going to have something interesting coming out of this game, I think. What was this? Oh, I thought it was a King's Indian. Finally, a d4. No, these kids want mostly e4. It seems like that's the way to go these days. F3 h5, Queen d2, Bishop e2. Very normal development, and Rook c1. Okay, this is a bit suspicious to me. Rook c1. But I've seen people do it. Basically, what they want to do is get the knight to d5 and then go c4. I think that's basically what they do. They want to make sure that is a way. I mean, I don't know why they need to do it like that. I personally would castle, but maybe they're trying to avoid some bishop c4 at some point. Who knows? Who knows what's happening there? Queen c7 is a mistake. Is it because of knight d5? Yeah. Because it comes in with tempo, it forces the trade, and now c4, there you have it. Okay, so I guess I still can guess things. That's a good thing. c4, p6. Oh, interesting. Interesting move by white. So I think he's gonna attempt this, this, and this. Nice kind of maneuvering of improving the position of the knight to a better square. We'll have to see what's happening there, if he will actually manage to do it. Also b3, it frees up the b3 square, so he can play b3. If he plays b3, he's strengthening the center, right, which is always a very nice thing to do, to strengthen the chain in the center. But personally, I wouldn't rush to play b3, because b3, knight c5, you know, it just gives black the opportunity to kind of attack the pawn in b3, so you'll have to stay and defend it. Whereas if you don't put it there, since now the c4 pawn is not under attack, maybe you'll be fine. You won't be feeling like, you know, something else is needed for sure there. So okay. So we have another English here. Black's played kind of a Botvinnik system, but as I always like to tell people, the knight belongs to e7. It's very important to put the knight there. It keeps the bishop opened and keeps the knights protected, and it allows the f5 pawn push in a much easier fashion. The problem is black couldn't have done this, right, in this game, because the first move that he played after c4 was knight f6, so obviously he couldn't have gotten that. So that's why it's always tricky to think what kind of system you want to go towards, because maybe, you know, depending on how you take your pieces out, you could have misplaced something, and then you're not really getting the position you want. Hi there, welcome everyone. Lots of fun Santa emojis, I like that. Okay, so now we have a Maruti with reverse colors, similar to that other gamer have Maruti bind. Aliat, hey, long time no see. So we have a Najdorf. It's been forever indeed. Please say hi to Karen. Okay. This is a very sneaky move. This is very sneaky. Having some sacrificial ideas eventually. On the long run. And also with the queen in c2, you know, if you ever go b5 and we trade, you know, the queens might be traded. a4 92, that was my suggestion too, because you can block that e pawn. You don't want that to happen, because think about it this way: if black gets the chance to go a3 and then somehow open up that bishop, I'm telling you, you won't survive on that diagonal. But the knight goes to e4 to block things. Maybe, although it won't block that much, but takes, pawn takes, you know. Yeah, actually what I said is not really ideal. But the knight, okay, the knight controls the center and it had to move away. Definitely better in d2 than c1. Oh, your cat is there. That's nice. Regina was on the stream. And you know this is a dual stream, so it's on US Chess too. She was on the stream twice yesterday. So I don't know. Let's hope there will be no complaints. A cat has raided the US Chess stream. I feel like I will see the latest news. Actually, if I would write the news, I would definitely do that. That would be way too funny. We have an exciting round of chess. That's right, Backspace. That's right. Hopefully. Always exciting. Let's see over here. Yep. Okay, so very typical development. Okay, so probably someone's thinking that's why we're not getting the next move. But okay, this position is quite equal. We got a slightly better, you know, placement of our bishops, but we also, it's not easy to break through the center for white. What was this? Another French? Ah, I got caught once in this French variant. When I was playing with the black pieces, and I didn't really get that good of an idea, but yeah, basically, I don't know. So why gonna go bishop e3, which is so normal since you played h3, there's no knight g4, and probably, you know, queen d2, a3, castle. Either side might work. Still early to tell. And last but not least, we have Winston against Devansh. This is the under 8 section. Ooh, the Evans Gambit. In case today wasn't spicy enough after seeing all those Frenches and exchange Slavs, kind of Catalans, Winston is bringing the action on the final board. Well, the final board that we have live in the open section with the Evans Gambit. So I am curious to see how much theory these 8-year-olds can bring to the table. Okay, bishop e2. So it's actually interesting that bishop e7 was played, because I myself have played this move most of the time, and the theory kind of goes to d4, e takes d4, queen b, castle or queen b3, knight e7, and here we got queen b3, knight g5, various ways. This is automatically your favorite game. Marshall could top this. Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to wait and see if there will be a Marshall, but yeah. So going back to the game, bishop e7 was played, but oops. Bishop e2, d takes. I don't know, d takes the best. Is that the best? I would consider maybe this as a move for black. I just want to reinforce my center a bit. But okay, so he took. White is getting a bit of the initiative. Rook c1. Okay, so he does know a bit how to deal with this situation. I think Winston kind of has an idea that he has to be as aggressive as possible. He did not castle yet. As you can see, he tried to develop the other pieces first. We need to come back to this game because I don't know all the theory. I don't know all the theory on this line with bishop e7. Because I like to play bishop a5 and just try to hold on to the pawn a bit longer when I play this with black. Let's catch up with the girls' games as well, because lots of moves were played there too. So, Jasmine, the highest rated, has had a really good tournament so far. And she is playing the Grunfeld. All right. Let's see which line. Queen e4. Okay, I'm not familiar with this line. I know bishop c4 is a main line. I know knight f3. I think I've seen bishop e3 or something. But queen e4 I'm not familiar with. So let's see how this game went. So queen e4. Knight f3 castle. Okay, the development is quite natural. Okay, so this must be something new. In a way, I like it. You know why? Because basically when you give that check, you're posing black a question. Do you put the bishop in front? Do you put the knight in front and blocking things? Or do you play c6? Then you can't play c5, which is the move that you want to play. So, you know, black has to castle first, then chase this queen away before being able to go c5. And here white says, nope, you're not doing it. You're not playing c5. And black says, I will after I trade your queens. And white says, sure, but then, let's go back here so you guys can see it better. But then if you do trade queens, I feel that my position will be, you know, better. I have a bit more space. My bishops are well placed. I got the c-file to start putting pressure on. So I'll feel comfortable if you choose to do that. So black played the move bishop e6. And, oh, and now went for the endgame. So we're waiting for a few more moves to arrive here, but probably quite equal for a human perspective to not just the engine, of course. But I would personally take white because I think there's a bit more activity, more space. So we'll see. What did we have here? Sicilian again. All right, at least we're seeing some fun Sicilians too. Well, I don't know how fun they are. This Rossolimo line takes, and we've seen these kind of pawn structures quite a lot. Just gotta figure out how you're gonna break through. I mean, if I were white, I definitely would get the knight away, prepare for knight c4, you know, stuff like that. As for black, you know, first bishop e6, maybe castle, and then maybe f5 too. Why not? Or c4. Usually these types of positions, you sometimes see a c4 being played, but only if you don't completely lose the pawn, of course. Yesterday, I picked one of Laura's games as my favorite of the round. Laura going for the discovered attack. But black is definitely more comfortable, right? Bishop pair just needs to figure out how to... I would play this, actually. If queen takes, do we go rook d b8 or rook a b8? And if you take here, this would be a nice kind of activity for the rook. There's apparently an even better move. Do we get the chance to kind of trap that queen? Or is it bishop takes h3? This is a nice move. Bishop takes h3. Hi, Mike. You're saying rook db8? Yeah, that could work. That could work too. The only thing is that, you know, if you take here, well, now your rook is hanging, so that's the issue. So that's why you can't put that one. So you can't take, I mean, you do play the move, but now how do you get your pawn back? Yeah. And the queen in this case maintains the defense of the knight, so. Yeah, I mean, usually you play rook db8 when you're sure you're gonna trap the queen, if not, probably this one. Yeah, no worries, all good. So Laura, definitely slightly better position, but we'll see how she proceeds here. Definitely I like bishop f5. For me, initiative is kind of a big thing. If I get the chance to get it, you know, I'd like to, because it just helps get the pieces out faster and just put pressure on the opponent as much as possible. Okay, so we have another Tarash. Oh, white chose to take. Okay. I typically would play this move g3. I like g3. And wait for knight f6 to go bishop g5 and, you know, bishop g2 castle. And eventually I will take, after black will have moved the bishop. But it seems that white decided to take immediately, which usually allows d4, yeah. I mean, this is another line that you can play, right? This, I think, allows white to get the pawn. Okay, queen a5 check, takes the knight back. Okay, so now white has the bishop pair and has to figure out development. And she decided to go for e3, probably because this pawn is also hanging. She needs to try to approach this position as fast as possible, like develop as fast as possible. Knight d2, of course, we don't want to trade queens. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Such a fancy move. Look at this. Fianchetto the bishop, Mike. Yeah, that's another idea. That's what I like to do. Fianchetto the bishop with g3. But I wouldn't take in c4. If you want to do that, you don't need to. Look at this fancy idea. So cute. You can't take because you just set yourself up for failure. So, queen a5. And now white castles. So after the castle, we're threatening ideas with queen e2, rook e1, you know. This queen is still kind of out of play. We're also threatening some knight b3s to chase the queen away. And white is going to take advantage of black's, you know, black being behind in development. So we'll have to see what happens there. Okay, what was this? Another Sicilian? Mm-hmm. Yep. Thanks. Here, here, here. This is typical, right? As soon as black castles, there are some discovery ideas, particularly knight g4 to take the bishop, so you definitely need to move the queen back. You're fine to have it in d4 for the time being, but once the threats start, you know, being built up, you need to go back. All of these moves are quite typical. I'm not sure about this f4 move, if it was necessary to be played now, or maybe h3 could have been played first. I guess white's not worried about this, because what does she want to do? Bishop d4, or does she want to take that knight? No. She cannot let black take. Is it knight d5? Oh, it's knight d5. Now if you take, this is a typical tactical idea that all of you guys should know if you're playing the Sicilian. It's not the end of the world, because you still grab some material too, but you got to be careful because you might be actually losing a piece. So you need to move the knight first, or maybe give a check first. But white would be doing quite well. So knight d5, a very typical tactical idea. If you haven't seen it before, you definitely need to know about it. Threatening here. The queen, thankfully for black, is protected. So but you either want to trade or something. So if you protect there, then you're dealing with some stuff like, what's the most annoying thing that can happen to black? Is this, and maybe this, followed by knight c7, and white wins at least an exchange? It seems unpleasant. So after knight d5, you don't want it to go back. You just don't. You simply don't. Like, you know, bishop b6 comes in with tempo, and then, you know, knight c7 is one way. You know, it's just very unpleasant for black. So what is the actual move after knight d5 in this position for black? Because if we take, maybe this. Sorry, I just blanked there for a moment. I'm trying to find some kind of compensation for black. Maybe rook e8, but it seems a bit tough for black to get all this compensation. This is an interesting position for sure. We'll get back to it. So let's catch up with everyone. Chloe, my pencil girl. Hopefully that doesn't have any bad connotation. For those of you who don't know, that I said the story is that when I was the head of delegation at this World Youth Championships in Romania, I told everyone they're not allowed to bring any pencils or pen or any kind of something to write with the game. And Chloe had forgotten that I told her that, and I double checked with everyone. So it looks like we have a Marty again. I double checked with everyone, and Chloe shows me her pencil, and I'm like, Chloe, you're not allowed to have this pencil. So she gives me the pencil. I take it back to the room, and then the next day, I believe she lost. The first day she had won when she gave me the pencil, but then after that she lost or drew. And I just, you know, kind of joked about it. I was like, well, yesterday you gave me the pencil and you won, or 2 days ago you gave me the pencil and you won. Maybe you should continue doing that. And she did. And every round she would bring me her pencil, and she did quite well, like most of the tournament. But unfortunately, at some point she did lose. She was like, oh, the pencil's not helping anymore. But superstitions, we all have them sometimes, maybe not everyone. Okay. Hyper accelerated dragon. Okay, nice. Yeah, this is a great setup. This is a great setup for white, for sure. Uh-oh. The exchange went away. Okay. So basically black just messed up here, I guess, right? With rook takes, she should take with the pawn. Get the knight back and then figure out a way to advance this pawns forward to attack maybe the king side. This bishop is not quite ideally placed. I would put it back and maybe go c5 personally, or d5. But the bishop, I just don't see exactly what it's doing there. We had another semi-Tarrasch, I think. Looked like one. No. Exchange variation of the car. Okay, transpose is like it was a semi-Tarrasch, right? A3, we've seen this. This pawn structure is exactly the same, yeah. So we were saying with g3, fianchetto bishop, but here white chose the bishop in d3, which is actually much nicer in my opinion, because you actually have the opportunity to focus on h7. And black sometimes plays bishop f6 and g6 and bishop g7. We'll have to wait and see. There will be time to do all that, but so far the setup is fine. Queen a5, yeah, the queen sometimes comes on this other side of the board. Sometimes there's b6, bishop b7. This is also weak. Ideally, black would have to focus on these two pawns, particularly, you know, this one in c3. Just to put pressures for white, you know, tries to get some activity. There's also the e5 outpost. That would be nice to take control over with white. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Wait, what happened here? Okay, there's this must be some, I don't know why bishop f5 was placed. You probably didn't want to take, of course, because queen takes g7. But I don't understand why not knight h6, just develop a new piece. Seems like the right approach for black, right? Just chase the queen away and then you will get your pawn back. Just chase the queen away. You can also get your knight to f5, which is definitely a better location, right? And avoiding all sacrifices. But this was played and now bishop b5 check. No, the reason I don't like bishop f5 is I think white can simply go back, I guess. And you're still struggling with the defense of the g7 pawn. You can't take in c5 just yet. Knight b5 takes, queen e2. No, there must be some. Okay, there's some transmission error on this game. Okay, there's some transmission error. Okay, I panicked there for a second. Now this game will be refreshed for sure. This is an interesting system. I think I've seen it at some point. White sometimes plays rook g1 and g4, g5 also in various things. It kind of became popular at some point, and yeah. Here I'm not sure how much damage is going to cause. Where do you guys think white should move the knight? This is round 3, Aliat. This is round 3. Yesterday was double round. Today there's just one round. So one round, and then in the afternoon I believe they have a blitz. I won't be covering that though. And then tomorrow there'll be 2 rounds again from 9 a.m. Eastern time and then 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. I did update it. It says round 3, doesn't it? It says round 3. Where is it not updated, Aliad? Yours just also says round 3. Please don't scare me because Brian will not be happy. Do you not see round 3? I see round 3 for US chess too. Aliat, do you not see round 3? Okay, you scare me because you already told me like I can't see that round, and I was like, okay. No, it's fine, okay. Listen, I already have too many problems. You can't give me extras. No, that was something that I did the first thing because I do it on Restream, and I check it just to make sure that it's the right title. Trust me, you don't wanna stress life of a chess player. That game, I like it. It's gonna be, ooh, check this out. I want to see how this game is going. Let's see. Bishop b3, very good. Okay, e6. All right. Castle. Very normal, right? Castle is very normal here. It was Dirk's fault. Totally agree. I agree, Tors. Bishop e7, knight c3 seems very normal. What Olivia is doing? Takes. Why did she play d5 so soon? She probably is trying to get rid of her isolated pawn, but like, I think rook e1 makes a bit more sense to try to put more pressure. Maybe she was worried at knight e7, but then we have bishop g5. I think rook e1 is a kind of a nice preparing move. But what did she do? She played d5. Everything got traded. Don't you guys think? Ah, queen takes. There's bishop d6. Bishop e6. Yeah, this would be fine for black. And obviously you don't make this blunder, but you can go queen b5, I think, to put pressure. And this would be fine. She took with the bishop. This looks weak. This looks very weak. Can we do something about it? Knight g5. This position looks kind of nice for white, actually, to proceed the attack. With the attack, Olivia played h3, which I know she does quite often. Bishop g4 is, of course, something a lot of people get scared of, these pins, but knight g5 would have stopped that. Okay, now the point is, if you go knight g5, probably is not nearly as dangerous because bishop g6 Black manages to defend right on time, so if she had played that earlier, she would have had a slight edge, but okay, she missed it, and now we have this position that she's still thinking about. So we'll be back. Amy is playing with Catherine. I think Catherine was my former student. Knight c5. Okay, this a4 move is quite nice for white because it stops the minority attack. So you can't easily push the pawns on that side of the board. So e5 is actually something that black sometimes plays in these types of positions. I just don't know that black would be ready to do it now, but maybe. If this happens, can take. It just keeps the position equal. I think with black you kind of need to play that. I don't think c6 will... I mean c6... sorry, b6 could be fine. Knight b3, we also have some a5. I mean... Yeah, you need plans with both sides, and usually you want to deal with some push in the center to open up something. This game looks quite nice for Ashley. Yeah, actually, you know, I like to say four because it stops black typically in these types of positions where with, you know, ABC and EFGH pawns. One of the sides is getting more space on the king side and the other one the queen side. And usually it's this way that you want to place your pawn. So A4 actually undermines black's opportunity to do those things. So B4 is something that can happen, and white has this plan of retreating, but the knight will come to C4. So you're giving that outpost, but we are chasing the knight away. But I think black's position is quite fine after A5, bishop A6, you know. But here, bishop B7. This tactic, I've seen it happen. So probably rook B8 has to happen. Bishop B7, and now look at this beautiful thing. The point is, after pawn takes, bishop takes, you have to go king there. If you go bishop c6, you lose the rook. Right? So you have to go king e7. But basically what happens now is that white has two pawns for the piece, but these pieces are not part of play. And it's difficult for black to develop here, because we're threatening some bishop g5, some this rook coming into play. For example, if knight f6, I think, well, actually, is this even? Yeah, this is even a threat. Wait, black needs to come up with something against that threat first. Let's just say this move. Okay, this move seems natural. That would be a good continuation for white here. Why are black's pieces underdeveloped? Well, what happened is black in this position should have played b4. It's typically how it goes, right? In this Sicilian, you develop the queen side first and then the king side. But the problem is, black didn't play for this and allowed white to trade everything and sack the piece. That's why those pieces are not developed, because now you're losing material. So you have to try to get the material because, you know, you have no way to block it. Bishop c6, we take the rook. So that's why black had to go king e7, and this is how we find ourselves in that position. This is how they got it. So I was thinking that, you know, if black at least tries to trade the queens, maybe we'll get into an endgame where those pieces eventually will get out. No. This is not more evidence convincing you to never play the Sicilian. No. Don't do that to yourself. It's okay. Any opening is fine. Any opening is good. There are some openings that are not so great, but they're not bad. You know, don't... You guys are too much sometimes. I thought I was too much, but clearly. Listen, Sicilian is fine. You just need to figure out what is the right kind of Sicilian for you. Not all of the Sicilians are going to get these kind of positions. Usually it's very active and aggressive. It just happens that in this particular line, black just messed up one move, you know? In e4, e5, you can mess up one move too and then get a worse position. So, you know, like, just to be fair, you know? So, remember. Okay, I'm higher rated than you'll ever be, but I'm happy not asking to be attacked. I like classical development and getting my pieces out, asking to get pieces sacked against you when you mess up one move. Aww. I understand your point of view, okay? Listen, I don't play the Sicilian either. I'm not trying to tell you to play the Sicilian. I don't play it either. So I feel like now I just kind of sound so terrible, but I'm biased too, don't worry. I like things that I like also, you know? If one day you teach me something and there's something slight little thing that I don't like about it, I'm just gonna be like, no, not happening. I get you, Kuri. However, I don't think you should give up something just because there's a little thing, like tiny little thing that you saw out of the sea of various ideas and possibilities. You saw one little thing and that is stopping you from learning something new. You know, in chess, it is very important to focus on the learning process. Like, try to understand as many things as possible. That's how it's gonna make you to be a stronger chess player, you know? Like, I don't believe you should give up something just because you lost the game. It's kind of like, you know, someone hurts you a little bit, like not even on purpose, you know, just they don't think, they make you feel sad about something, and then suddenly you decide, well, I'm not talking to this person anymore. I think we should approach, you know, things in chess and life a bit differently. Like, if it's something very serious that they did, you know, yeah, maybe you will not talk to that person again, right? But if it's, you know, something small, they clearly, genuinely feel sorry and they made a mistake, then I think you should give them some chance to redeem themselves. Same as with the openings. You mess up one time, you get a bad position, or you see someone doing, you know, something wrong, you know. But when you challenge yourself to learn something new, it doesn't matter on the level. Like, I'm not here to say that I'm better and you should listen to me. I'm just trying to give you my perspective of a player. and what I've done. But I still want to learn a lot of things, and I still have a lot of things to learn, like openings, for example. Like, I know a lot of the ideas, but I'm not necessarily the best at knowing all the theory. And so, because I've had other things that I like, but I don't stop the process, right? It's always a process. There's always going to be something that you can learn that's new, that, if you force yourself to solve the problem, could make you a better person, better knowledgeable person about, various things. So don't be afraid to learn new things, and don't give them up just because of something small, if you can. Looks like we have another alapin here. I feel like I need to refresh this just in case. So we're on board 14. I just want to refresh just in case to make sure we're not missing moves, because last time we were missing some moves on some of the games. So no news here. No new moves. This game looks like it's over. It's over very soon. How did this happen? So we had a Caro-Kann. Okay. Rook c1. I see this move being played quite a lot, and probably for various reasons. I returned the bishop supporting c4. Lots of things that rook could be placed in c1 for. Okay, trading the bishop. Okay, so I think Gray should not have given up this bishop. This is not the bishop you want to give up. Okay, she didn't technically give it up that move, but now after f6 she will lose it. But maybe there was something even better for black here. Maybe this. And then f6. If you go here, we go back. And then f6. Or maybe not back, wait. Maybe we go f6 here. No. Maybe we go bishop h6. Oh, check this out. This is cute. Bishop g5 with tempo, bishop h6, keeping the pawn pinned. Now we're threatening f6. And it's gonna be difficult for white to come up with a move. So bishop g5, very nice in between move. Now if you go, for example, rook d1 to protect the knight, I think maybe we have this checky. And then we can play f6. So when the bishop goes back, when you take it, maybe the check wasn't even necessary, but at least we've kind of weakened white's king, and we will have ideas with queen f7 to come for some mating ideas here. Bishop g5 would have been a nice move for black. Why did white play g3? There's no real threat over there. I feel like rook e1 makes sense, right? This pawn is weak. We're just putting additional pressure on it. Aww. White probably missed these ideas, and Alice is definitely taking advantage of it. Rook f3 is nice, and now the other rook will come into play. After having won all these pawns, it takes the rook too. Nice game by Alice here. Very typical. I like this, the way white has played this. Just trade some pawns in the center, regroup with the pieces, put the bishop on the longest diagonal, But this game could be headed for a draw. Like both players are utilizing their pieces, setting them up in a nice fashion. You know, there's anything can happen if there will be a tactic to happen, but there's a big chance that game will end in a draw. This game is not showing, neither is this one. All right, so we were able to catch up with all of the games in both sections. That's a pretty good thing. Only took me an hour and a half to do that. But okay, so I think the time is now for me to take a short break. Tiny little break because I don't know if I mentioned to you guys, but today is my longest day ever after such a long day. I don't know what I've done. I didn't think about it, so I knew there's only one round of commentary, and I haven't taught my students for a while, so since I've been doing various commentary gigs. And I told them all I could do on Thursday, and pretty much everyone said, yeah, sure. We'll take a class. Yeah, well, I guess, they did take a class. And now I need to teach till 11. Regina is here raiding the stream again. Zoe's having a pretty good game. Okay, it's a bit more comfortable to maybe have the knight instead of the bishop, but I think it's hard to imagine where that knight would go. So we're good here, pretty equal. What has happened here? White is definitely getting some kind of an attack, but this bishop in g6, despite being exposed, is not so easy to take advantage of. I wonder if white will consider stuff like this. Or not. Maybe not. Also, maybe we can go knight h2 and try some f4, though, because, like, basically I'm thinking if black will attempt f5. It's still not so easy. Maybe you just go f4. Pretend like we don't care about this thing. No, but there's knight f6 now. Maybe we can go e5 to control f6, because I wouldn't want one of these knights to come so easily to e4, but the problem is they can go the other way around through b6 d5, It's not so easy to improve this position with the white pieces here. It's not. 92. Okay, I like that move. Sure, he's trying to avoid the knight being captured, and then knight g3, knight f4 or something. Sure. Ooh, we missed quite a bit of moves in this game. Let's see. So black has accepted his isolated pawn, but now needs to focus on a kingside attack and potentially take advantage of that outpost that he's gotten by having the isolated pawn in the center. So we'll see. Okay. Yeah, the last move was not a very wise decision by black. I think, I mean, I could be wrong. There's some ideas with knight b6. Okay, if we just take, okay, it doesn't do anything, okay, because just rook b8 and this pawn is protected by both the knight and the queen. But I think there's queen c6, and queen c6 simply I don't know what he's doing. Oh, it was played. It was just played as I showed it. Oh, this is not looking good. This is not looking good. Is it, Reggie? Is it not? No. Mm. Andrew had a great game yesterday, but today this is not a good blunder. It's not a good blunder at all. Okay, we left off quite early in the opening in this one. And black, of course, is trying to get some space in the center. Okay, bishop f5. Very typical. If you could get the knight to f5, of course, it would be much better. But if you cannot, at least the bishop. That will keep the knight in d7 or make it a bit harder for black. Black has to go rook c7, move the knight in order to be able to go bishop c8 and trade the bishop in f5. Okay, this is quite typical of a trade. And now, okay, white's gotten a slight advantage due to this isolated pawn, and I would say slight better placement of the bishop versus black's bishop. Yeah. I'm liking white's position here. The only thing is you need to manage to trade the bishop so you can go knight c4, push the queen back, because black normally wants to have a knight that blocks the pass pawn, right? Knights are the best blockading pieces, not the queen. So, you know, how do you get that? Because the point is, if you take here, I think black can go queen c5. And black would be fine. There's nothing too bad happening here. Okay, this was that one game that we talked about where I felt I wasn't quite happy about this trade, though I see a lot of people doing it. Ah, okay, if c6, if you play c6, yeah, sure, I'm happy with white. I think black should avoid playing c6 for a while. Just knight here, rook e8, maybe g6, bringing the bishop to g7, and then trying to do something with f5. I wouldn't necessarily play c6 immediately, but okay, that's what happened. Still a long way to go in this game. Okay, bishop g5. Uh-huh. Looks like we did end up getting an endgame, which is, you know, extra pawn for black. Black should be happy. Hey, Reggie, did you have enough of the stream? Did you see enough? She's seen enough. Well, hopefully Regina has brought you a ray of sunshine in your life because she's a cutie. She was crying earlier. That's why I sometimes just get her, because when you do a stream and your cat is crying in the background, you know, you need to give her attention. It's just the rules of the game, the rules of living with a cat, because you know she's the queen of the house, not me. Okay, so I gotta say thank you, MD Knight. Thank you. I gotta say I don't think what's happening with the loss of the pawn, and I don't really see much compensation there. So definitely not bishop g5 in this position. But what would have been a better move for white here? What do you guys think? takes. And then just castle, maybe? Because you'll have the opportunity to go bishop f4, rook e1, you know? Just keep everything covered. Maybe you don't need to castle, but maybe you can play knight c3, a3, chase the knight away, and then, you know, proceed with the development further. This is definitely, I think you just simply missed that after this move, the pawn is attacked, and there are various discovery moves here for black. And it's very difficult to come up with a way to keep everything safe, and I think that's what happened basically here. Yeah, because extra pawn, okay, Henry is gonna push in this position to try to win. I mean, it's not decisive advantage just yet, but it's definitely something, oopsie, that will be. We will see some pushing. Yeah, clean pawn loss. I mean, it will take some time, right, to convert that advantage. Okay, so I was quite happy with White's push of the pawn in d5. But I don't know this knight e4 if it was necessarily the best. My knight f3 maybe, would this work? I just wanted to show, oh, that's not it. Oh, I wanted to show that line. Okay, no cause for alarm. We have this move, we have this move, no? Bishop h3? No, what's the best move here for white? I just wanted to show the line because I thought knight e5 is winning, and I was like, oh, this is nice, let me show you this pin. And then I guess I was like, oh, well, never mind. Is it knight g5? Oh, cute. Look at this cuteness. Yeah. Even cuter than what I was trying to show. Knight g5. So, this could be kind of interesting to attract black to grab the pawn. But okay, bishop c6 was not forcing in that position, right? After rook d1. Knight f6, I think, allows something similar. Some knight move, and then there's extra pressure on the bishop. But what else? Maybe just takes. I mean, it's not ideal, of course, to give up the bishop, but maybe we can just do that. Now, if we go here, there's queen takes e5 potentially. But at least everything gets traded, and at the end of the day, we got equal material. And, you know, slight advantage because we have the bishop, pawns on both sides of the board. Well, I can try to push for a win here. I would have liked knight f3 definitely much more than knight e4, I think. Because this just leaves the pawn unprotected, and, you know, the knight is easily chased from there. There's c4 also that can be played. I don't know. I just felt like the other one was kind of more forcing. At least if he's gonna take the pawn, at least you're getting something of everything. This Frenchie was pretty... Yeah, Steven is having some trouble with black pieces, seems like, in this tournament. Because yesterday he also had some trouble. I know Steven oftentimes stops by the stream, which is always nice. It's always nice to see sometimes the people that, you know, are watching the stream. You look at their games and you're like, oh, okay, cool, nice to see you here, you know. But yeah. I'm not fond of his queen in a5. That's what I want to say. I'm not fond of it. I know, nice to see him too, because I remember that um he was saying he never played in the Nationals, if I'm not mistaken. I think he plays in the DC area and probably mostly. Because I think he stopped by the stream when I did commentary with Robert Ramirez. By the way, you should definitely check out Robert. Robert's National Master, content creator of a lot of YouTube. Very interesting, and you can find a lot of interesting lectures and build up your skills from the ground up. Basically, he has recorded all these videos with like how to get started. It's all on YouTube, so be sure to check him out. And I remember when I did commentary with him, Steven stopped by the stream and he said he's not playing, so. Okay, we'll be back to his game. Looks like Ronin is... Didn't he... he played Rook D1, because I was suggesting this move, but looks like he played Rook D1 instead. It's just preparing some more, but now if you allow the Rook to D8 and now you do something like this, Black can simply go back. Oh, well, here he cannot, but in some situations he could. So it looks like he preferred to have the knight in B5 as opposed to D5. Now he recaptured. We'll see whether he can create some kind of threats on the queen side with that pawn structure of Black's. Okay, this is a typical Sicilian endgame where White might try to put additional pressure. Ideally, what you try to do is, from what I've seen, push G4, try to bring your king closer. You can also put the rook in D4. You're keeping a lot of pressure on D7 and try to see if you can further activate with rook B6, rook D6. But okay, on a good play, it should be a draw, but we'll have to see what happens here. And this game was over. I think this was that game that I said it would be kind of a nice attacking game where White went for G4, G5, very nice knight F5. And now you see how Black pushed that A pawn, and this is how White met that A pawn push. This is typically how you want to meet an attack towards your king. You want to find a way to push a pawn forward to be able to keep the position closed so that your opponent doesn't get the file opened on your king, particularly if they have rooks that come into play. So this is a nice idea now, and look at this beauty, knight takes G7. Though you would maybe expect some rook G1 first, H4, but after knight B6, there's a threat, bishop takes F5, so you need to, do something about it first. Knight takes G7, and Black played here because if you take, this was probably the idea, Queen D4 and taking the knight. I don't think it would be that terrible for Black, but Black felt that it would be, so that's why he went for knight takes A2, and oh, White recaptured. So what was the best move here? Maybe King B1, because if you take, then we take back and we have that knight defended, which means that knight could actually go back like this, or could go back knight H5, knight F6, and White would have quite a bit of pressure on Black's king, and here all he has to do is go King A1 or King A2. The king will be safe and no cause for alarm. Oh, sorry, why did I go back? I didn't finish my commentary. So here, Queen D4. Look at this nice idea, Queen F6. It was a trap for Black. Seeing that the queens are offered for an exchange, you're thinking, oh, I can trade them. and then there will be no more attack. But in fact, after the trade, this is where white is actually building up the attack as the file gets opened. There's an outpost on the file. You can place the rook to g7, bring the new rook in, and you will still have mating threats. Plus, this bishop can open up by capturing in d5 or going e5, and h7 will be a target. So definitely the trade was not a wise idea. Maybe this, no, this might have allowed some things like this, and maybe sacrifices in h6. I wonder, no, because that, can white actually take the knight? Sorry, I just need to double check just to make sure. I guess so, right? Because the queen will escape. Oh, wait, sorry, there's bishop takes a6. Oh my goodness. No, there's no way to trap the queen. Yeah, of course. So you can't give up the knight. So what should black play in this position? Maybe c4? c4 is definitely unpleasant here. Yeah, you cannot allow this bishop to open up, guys. You just simply cannot allow it. Queen takes f6. And now, look at that. Opening up the bishop. I'm sure rook g7 came in next, threatening h7. And now, even if you take that pawn, h7 is still a target. Now we're attacking the knight. Move the knight. First pawn to fall. And now you just need to figure out, okay, so he's winning a rook. This was actually quite instructive, the way Wesley played this game. Definitely one to consider for my favorite of the round. This looks quite unclear, actually. Though the engine does like black, but okay, it will be opposite color bishops. Probably black would have to protect this pawn first before taking this, because there's no need for you to give up the d pawn to take the a pawn. Might as well just keep it protected, right? So that would be good. Queen endgame. There were some blunders here. I want to see if someone missed something. Takes. Says queen takes d5 was a blunder. What? No. There's some transmission error there. Ooh. Okay, let's go back a bit on this game and see what happened. This was one of those games that I said attacks. There will be attacks. White would attack on the king side. Black will attack on the queen side. Goody. Knight takes f6. I want to prep g4, but if you do it directly, I think black can actually take the pawn. So because of that, you need to think of how you can prepare it. Maybe rook g1 or h3. But there's a threat, knight takes d5 potentially. Yeah. So we need to do something about the threat, and then we can prep. So maybe queen d2. Escape the pin, no b5, no knight d5. And now we can start marching. I think white would definitely have some pressures here. But what did he do? He traded, and now he put the queen to e2. Okay, surprisingly a bit that e2, not d2, to try to still have trades over there, but okay. b5, bam, bam, bam. Oh my god. Oh my god, I should have asked you guys to find this move. This is like, this is, this is recharge the support of the b7 pawn 2.0 or something fun like that. Look at this gorgeous move. Oh my god. I mean, you want to promote the pawn, it's blocked, there's not so much to do, and suddenly out of nowhere comes the sacrifice. Bam, rook c1, take it, of course, because what else you gonna do? I got a second rook, rook c1 again, and now a rook c8 is inevitable, or the promotion of the queen is inevitable, and you're trapping the queen there too. It's not just about the fact that you're playing rook c8, you're trapping the queen. There's no escape, and now white is up a queen. Okay, the game from here on is probably just a matter of technique. But wow, such a gorgeous move. Wow, rook c1. This is I feel like I should show part of this game at least, because rook c1 is just wow. It's just wow. I love it. I love it. So nice. Okay. Well played. Okay, so this game was quite... Okay, this is a typical idea. We see it in the stone wall sometimes in these positions where the bishop is open. Opened up. If you take, we take the bishop, definitely. Yeah. Trades, takes. Just play rook c1 and stare at your opponent like... Just don't give them the crazy eyes like I sometimes think it's funny to do. But other than that, you know. Hi, Piano James. Long time no see. How are you doing? It is me indeed. It is me indeed. Okay, knight here, defending everything. Sure. And now, oh, knight takes. Was it better to take with the pawn? No. What was better to do? Rook b1? No. Because he takes. He wants to take. I said f3 now. Really? f3 best move in the position? So what do we do after this? Like queen c1. Something like that. Since we're talking about the c1 square, now it's gonna be the title of the day, c1. So cute. Oh my god. That was so cute. Finbar, hey. You've been really busy. Me too. And today is gonna be a very tough day. I've made a huge mistake. I was kind of excited in a way that there's only one round today, so I thought I'll get some rest. And because I thought I'll get some rest, what do you think I did? I told all my students that I'm free in the afternoon. So now I'm not free at all. Now I'm going back to back till 11 p.m., guys. I don't know why I did this to myself. Like, I know, yeah, I like to work. I tend to be workaholic at times, and it's actually better for me than not having work. When I don't have work, I tend to get very sad. It's not about, you know, trying to be for finance reasons, but just like I like doing things. And when I don't have stuff clear to do, I can waste the time. And then I feel super bad about it, but I still waste the time. And so, yeah, so I have like a few classes to teach later. And then I'm also, I kind of, you know, try to help create more content for US Chess. And I suggested to do some interviews. And now I'm doing a bunch of interviews, which is good because, you know, you guys have the opportunity to listen to some of the, you know, amazing women out there who find ways to promote chess. But it does take time to plan a recording, a record, and everything. So yeah, I'm doing one of those too today, which yeah, I don't think I should have put it today, but you know, terrible decision on my part. Okay, this is a nice sack. You can't take it because the rook there. Not as fancy as the rook c1. And now extra piece. Black is on his way to win this game. Very nice. But yeah, as you guys have seen, like, I'm trying to be back to streaming as much as I can. You definitely need to be on the look for both my channel and US Chess, because there are some weeks where I might just do things on there. So I wouldn't want you guys to think that I'm not streaming at all, but yeah. And then of course I still have some plans to try to improve. I need about maybe 50-60 rating points more. I don't know how many, maybe not as many. That would guarantee probably that I would qualify for the US Championship next year. So that's a goal that I have. But it's not just about qualifying, it's just making sure that I train enough so that I can play decently. Don't get me wrong, I love the content creation, specifically there, my last one. If you guys were watching San Luis's streams, I became a part of the broadcast, and I was bringing in the people to the interviews and sharing their stories and stuff. But I do still like to play, and I think as a coach and promoter, when you maintain yourself in the game, you're also continuing to suggest, most of the time, good moves. Because when you don't suggest good enough moves, it's usually because you're not training yourself, and you have to maintain some level when you're gonna do commentary. So anyways, plans for Christmas? No plans for Christmas. Well, kind of. I will be stuck in New York getting ready for the World Rapid and Blitz Championship. So it will be my first World Rapid and Blitz Championship that I'll take part in. Since it's in New York, I figured it's closer to home. I might as well just go there. But the way I planned December was not quite ideal, because I don't have as much time to train for it. So the last 3 days, 23, 24, and 25, will be my training days, I guess, and I'll try to cram in as much as I can. Unfortunately, my family is back in Romania, so I got no one to really spend the day with. But that's okay. That's okay, you know. It's what it is. Was my choice, you know. Gotta live up to our plans. Maybe I'll do a stream. We'll see. You live in Washington State? Nice. I've never been to Washington State. Hopefully one day. Looks like black missed. Oh, thanks, Piano James. Here, bishop e6, rook takes. This is quite nice. 95. Bam, bam. So now white has got 2 pieces for rook. And how many pawns? 2 pawns. However, 1 is gone. And now, okay, this pawn structure is definitely better for white. So we're going to see another game here in this tournament where the minor pieces will definitely show their superiority to the rook. I'm pretty sure of that. Because there are quite a bit of weaknesses. I mean, you have to be careful not to fall for some, you know, lose one of your pieces, but as long as you're mindful about how you play, you should be good to go, yeah. White's been somewhat mindful here. And might be on his way to win, we'll see. Sabina and fire? What do you mean? What fire? What fire are you talking about? This is the Evans Gambit that Aliat wanted to see earlier, but it looks like it petered off to some kind of safe position. Queens are off the board. Okay, white's slightly better. Still got the pawn back. Okay. Oh, what does it say on my cup? It says love. It's one of those mugs from Philly. I got it from the airport, probably. Me and my mugs. I got way too many mugs. I was telling the stream the other day. I was telling the chat, not the stream. I was telling the stream. I was telling the chat the other day, that I have way too many mugs. And when you live by yourself and you have so many mugs, like I must have at least 20. I don't know why I need 20 mugs. I could just have 1 or 2. Okay, someone comes over. Okay, maybe you can have 4 to be nice. Live, laugh, love. No, it says love Philly XOXO on the other side. I can't bring it too close to the camera because of the background. It will disappear. It will be a disappearing mug, and you will think I'm a magician, but I'm not. Whatever happened here in this game? Black's got a weakness, and so does white. White technically too. This is harder to reach. Got an outpost. You're guilty of buying every color mug. Yeah. I have a few chess mugs. Yesterday I had 2 chess mugs actually. But yeah. I don't even know because these days like I don't have glasses, like so the mugs are also, instead of glasses, so if you want to drink some water or something, it's a mug. But mugs and thermoses, like those, carry on that you can carry with you. This position, I don't see as much improvement here for black because black is stuck here, but we'll see. Still a long way to go in this one. Ooh, Laura won this game. Is this the game where white went for that pawn? Oh yeah! Laura, maybe Laura. Laura's game might be my pick of the day because that was a mistake that happened. Oh, this was the line we looked at, guys. Do you remember? We looked at this. We looked at this line earlier, and it's exactly what happened. Bishop h3, I told you. OMG. And then b4, bishop f4, and then rook lift, and there's not so much you can do. This is a great example. Is a great example of why you should not go for pawns. Unless you're sure. So we definitely, this might be my game of the day in the girl section. Have we missed anything around here? What's been going on? Yeah, so we saw these moves. And the bishop couldn't be traded because of discovered attack. And yeah, knight f3, bam, 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 trade everything, yes. And now, okay, white is trying to improve a bit on the king side. But okay, h5 doesn't work yet, there's a knight f4. Okay, I mean, still a game. Oh, Aaron won this game. Do you guys remember this? This was the one where it wasn't so clear to me why. So knight d5 happened. This typical idea. So knight g4, maybe a bit rushed, and after knight d5, definitely queen takes d2, simply giving up a pawn for no reason. I wonder what Rowan missed in this position, but she definitely needs to try to go back here, or just maybe just protect that pawn. So, wait. What did we say? I feel like we said something. If we take here, maybe this. But earlier she shouldn't have played knight g4. She just needs to develop her bishop and everything. So this allowed the loss of a pawn. Oh, she took in b2 also, which allowed the loss of... Oh, she missed this. I blundered this myself, technically, earlier when I was analyzing, but no, that's a tough one for her. After you miss the piece, you know, it's kind of hard to come back into the game. This position is still quite early in the middle game, I'd say. I mean, we definitely feel that Black's pieces are a bit exposed to potential advancement for White's pieces, but at least the A file opened up, which will give Black some activity, so we'll have to see. Pawn is in c3. White's up an exchange. An exchange. White's up an exchange. Exchange is always good. Moving on. Still pretty balanced position here. Hanging pawns, what you want to try to do with Black is just put pressure and try to attract one of them to go forward so that the one that stays behind will be the one you're putting pressure on, but we'll see if that happens. I think we saw this game, right? There's also quite an aggressive game here. Yeah, Black is just getting the pieces on better and better squares. Yeah, b5. And now knight c2. Loss of a piece, and the game went on. Nice win by Black. This was the Gioco Piano, right? Yeah, this was the one where White was getting ready, was getting attacked. How's Black defending here after queen f3? Just knight g6 or knight g8? Knight g6 allows some tactics. Oh, sorry, knight g6, what I'm talking about. Oh, God. Knight g8. You want to do this, right? So maybe king h1. King h1 seems kind of nice, right? Just maintaining the pressure. Okay, we'll see what happens. This was Olivia's game, and Olivia had some chances here after king h8. There was this really nice idea to go knight g5 and take advantage of the fact that Black left the f7 pawn unprotected, you know, and then you can bring in the queen and put additional pressure. So this would be something you could do. However, she played h3, which allowed Black now to develop the final piece, well, before the queen, and then we'll have the ability to protect that f7 pawn, and Black might be fine in that position. Well, now she's trying to put pressure in f7, but not so easy. Oh, cute. Bishop takes h3. Of course, you cannot take back because of the discovery, right? All of you can see this nice discovered attack. So queen takes b7 is what she played to try to still win some material herself. she has to be careful because she's behind in development, and now that the H file got open, black's rook is difficult to stop. Okay. I think originally black might have thought that this move is just gonna bring them, you know, something good, but g3 just stops all the attacks and the queen covers everything. So there isn't so much you can do there. So now after bishop e4, e5, black is trying to keep the pressure so that it makes it difficult for you to do something. I think we can go rook b1, followed by, you know, push the pawn, bishop b2, and then I think white would have a pretty good position here. Well, fine position. Missed the opportunity there, but there's nothing to be worried about at the moment, so we'll have to see. Not much changed in this one. Okay, this one, I think we saw that white had won the queen earlier. Celine won. How did she win in this position? I don't know. Okay, maybe DGTR. Black was winning here, right? We saw the loss of the. Ooh, we got the rook end game. Let's go back a few moves and see how this happened, because this normally should be a simple draw. Just sit and wait. Oh, oh my goodness! It's so funny. You feel like you're trying to trap your opponent, right? You go king b5 and you're saying, "Oh, go rook d6," because then you have the mate. Right, but why is actually this move a mistake? Because it's definitely not a4, you just go back. Or maybe it is. And then rook back. Maybe we just don't care about the king going there and we just go back. No, but a4, I feel like a4 kind of needs to be played. You want to stabilize the position on that side of the board, and you want black to remain with those weaknesses so that whenever you activate your rook, you still have the ability to attack kind of everything. But apparently this is a mistake because it allowed a4, and after the trade, you got your check, but what's happening now? Do we go rook a7, and if you go king b3, do we go c4? And suddenly black advanced a bit? That's probably what we have to do here with white. Yeah, I don't believe we have. Did another review of everything. How are you guys feeling? How do you think this tournament is going? Do you have some specific game that you like more than others? Or not? Anyone? How has this entire experience been, by the way? I'm just curious to know, like, is the stream going okay? Is there any, like, freeze? Does it freeze at all? Or how do you guys feel that it's been going so far? I just want to know from the perspective of, you know, because I need to know whether I'll do more of these or not. Stream is great? Okay, so there's no, oh, sorry guys. Looks like my grandma's surprising me. I need to take this call. I need to take this call for a moment, so I'll take a short break and I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Apologies about that. Okay. George, I had missed your last message. Yeah, the basically every time on Streamlabs when I switch to the break page, like sometimes, not always, it would typically just freeze the stream and I can't change anything in Streamlabs, so it just completely freezes. And that's when I have to like, in order to be able to do anything, I need to end end the program and restart it. So that's been a thing. Um yeah, unexpected break. I didn't plan on taking a break there. But there was this number that kept calling me 5 times, and I saw there was a message and then it says that there's a delivery, and I'm like, who's sending me stuff? Nobody really has my address. Clearly my grandma, who I just gave the address to yesterday, has decided to send me something. I told her not to send me anything, but you know, she's the grandma. I love my grandma. I feel bad because I wasn't able to go home for Christmas this year. She, I come from a chess family, right? So my my grandma was never really as much into chess. It was mostly my grandpa who got my mom started, and got her to be quite strong at the time she met my dad, and then through the years she became even stronger. She was top 3 in Romania for over 20 years, top 3 female player in the country. And my grandma was never too much into learning chess. She's a math teacher. She's been teaching math for middle school and high school. And but the funny thing is she does know the pieces, how they move and everything. She just wasn't into it. She didn't want to learn. But you know what? She's always been there for me when I needed to review an opening. And you guys know how I'm not so great with openings, right? So there were times when my dad would tell me, memorize this, memorize that, and I just didn't know how to do it. And the best way for me to do it was to put it on the board and review what was written on those, papers, and just review it. And my grandma would know how to read. She knows how to read chess. She would have follow the moves, and I would tell her what the moves were. She was following, and she was sitting with me all those times to review every single opening that that I needed to, even if she wasn't into chess. She wanted to make sure that her granddaughter, would have everything ready. So it was always, kind of a nice thing, and I'm so blessed to still have her in my life, because it's she's 81, and I hope I'll have her for as long as possible. Always a great inspiration for me, because at her age she still tries to do things. She tries to still help some kids, get some tutoring in math, and it's just she's just another amazing woman of the amazing women in my life, like my mom and sister, of course, that I look up to. And yeah, she decided to apparently send me something. I don't know what it is, but it looks like it will be delivered. So if I suddenly just magically jump to the door, it's because something is happening. I guess we'll find out later. But let's catch up with these games now. Get back into the chess part. Story time is over. Looks like Zoe and Aaron have decided to draw their game, and there were a few repetitions here. So G3, and looks like they just went back and forth and agreed on a draw. Pretty good result for Zoe. She's having a very good tournament, drawing the top player, and she's had some nice wins in the previous 2 rounds that we have seen. So I hope she continues to do well. It's nice that she plays in the open section. She could have played in the women's section, but in the girls section, better said, but she's playing in the open section, which is very nice. It's always nice to challenge yourself to do better. And when you play against stronger players, there's always, you know, that opportunity of learning more. And I think there's also a bit less pressure because nobody really, it's not like nobody expects you to do well. It's not that. It's just you just might not um, feel as much pressure and needing to win when you're playing you know, stronger tournament. But she's still one of the top players, so she has a chance to finish strong, and I hope she does. Moving on to this board, I still don't see much advantage for white. There are some ideas with activating the rook here probably, but I don't know what those will lead to. We also got this check that could help a bit. I don't know if we should take, because if we take, then there's gonna be king g6, and black would be having a pretty good position. Lots of weaknesses for white too. Both players will have weaknesses, so definitely we don't give up our bishop. I'm just trying to figure out whether that check is super helpful or not. Does it make a difference? It might, because now rook c7 comes in with tempo, but then he can go here. This knight is protected. And then if you take, I got knight f3 check, and I take this pawn. I actually don't know how the check could influence white after rook takes d3, but this seems that it's going for a draw. Mm-hmm. Okay, extra rook for a while, you know, there's not so much to do there. Basically, you know, Andrew made this huge blunder. We discussed this earlier. b5, huge blunder, which led to his, you know, demise. After, there's not so much he could do. This is kind of a tough loss considering he had a really great game yesterday, but hopefully he can come back. It's just one tough game. Anything can happen. So extra exchange up for white here, definitely, and going in the right direction. Okay, so queen trades. Yeah, white is up a pawn, but how easy is it to push that pawn forward? Not so easy. Knight c2. He's saying, hey, let's trade knights. That way I can get some activity with for my rook. Rook on the second is always great. Let's have rook d2 to stop the pawn. Black's going in the right direction. Knight takes. Okay. I mean, you know what? The only thing I don't like that black did here is trading the knights, because by doing so, it's helping white get those two pawns connected. Now, if black's king manages to get in between them, it might be fine, but I don't know if that was really, really necessary to make that trade. Like, knight here seems fine also to put some pressure, just maintain some balance, maintain some pressure. Knights are annoying to have with rooks in combination, specifically endgames, but you know, maybe he felt he has sufficient time to get the king in between the pawns. I mean, I don't know if king e7. I was thinking king f6. I would have rather brought the king to f6, because if you put it in between the pawns, you'd rather have it here, I think. Not e7, because maybe there's... Okay, just to kind of give you an idea, okay? Okay, bear with me for a second. Obviously, this is not that super great, but something like this, obviously, you luckily for you, you have rook c8, right? And you're not losing. But I'm just saying, wouldn't you rather have the king here you know, like in this line, and then if he goes e4, you go king e5, block this pawn, this cannot go because you'll take it, right? Rather than going there and risking some ideas where he can sack a pawn and then actually support the other one. You know, just from the point of view of positional chess or something, understanding, that could be a slight improvement. Okay, here what Ryan did is perfectly fine. I'm just always like to make suggestions based on chess understanding in general, because it's very little likely that we'll get the exact same position at some point. We'll have something similar but never the same, and you want to understand the ideas, you want to understand what exactly could be happening that will be, you know, making your life the easiest in such an endgame. So let's catch up with this game as well. I'm liking White's position, but there's probably not too much to go about despite the bishop pair. Bishop f2, okay. Oh, they agreed on a draw, okay. Somehow I keep missing this. It's so obvious, but it's not. Maybe it's because, you know, I put this gray background. I was trying to figure out what colors will look good for the stream. Because, you know, last commentary it was red. So I had this conversation with Brian. I was like, I don't like the red. I don't think it goes well. I chose something else. Like, okay, fine. Sabina always tries to make things better each time. But sometimes people don't have the patience, you know, to listen to me. Because I talk too much, apparently. So when you're an extroverted person like me, you like to talk. You like to improve. I'm not saying others don't like to talk, but if you are not extroverted and you're more introverted, you're just gonna sit there and either you're gonna accept everything I say or you're just gonna get angry and tell me something. So okay, this game is still being played. Okay, all right. Extra pawn for Henry. This was the extra pawn that he had for a long time, right? Remember the e5 pawn was lost here? So he's trying to improve. Needs to get his king uncut so that he can bring it to c7. Maybe he will attempt some rook c6. I see he went to d6. He could have probably gone rook c8 actually here. I don't see why not, right? And then bring in the king. Maybe he felt that he wants to have the rook on 6th rank. Who knows why? But it will be about the same. Okay. Okay, what's been going here? Bishop h3 blunder. Is it? Oh, he's just giving up a piece. Maybe he forgot. If it takes. Doesn't queen e4 win something? Oh, wait. Oh my goodness, I almost blundered. Oh, I almost blundered this guy's game. Oh my goodness, I just blundered his game. I blundered it away. I was like, it's not my game. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Just bishop g2. Just bishop g2, guys. Chill, Sabina. No, bishop g2 is also bad. It's rook f2 or something, right? Not rook f2. Queen f2? No, what is it? Rook c3? No. Bishop f5, bishop f5. So I tried them all. Finally got the right one. Bishop f5 and then maybe rook moves and uh-oh. Uh-oh, wait, why is this a mistake? I almost blundered the poor guy's game here when he is doing so well, supposedly. Well, that was fast. Rook f1. Definitely it wasn't rook f1, the move. So what's wrong with taking the bishop? Rook f2? Can we sack the queen? Probably it's not sufficient, right? Takes, bishop g2. Knight somewhere. No, it's not sufficient. So what is the move here for white? After rook f6, f3. What about queen g2? Still this. Is this one of those positions where you go king h1 and we chillax, or rook d2? Rook d2, just yeah, rook d2. Prophylaxis. When nothing works, when you're looking at all these moves, I'm trying to think with the you know, with the voice, with the volume up. I'm trying to think here, but like, you know, you need to make sure that you need to make sure that you start with the forcing moves first. That's the first thing that you're looking when you see a position. You start with the forcing moves. Once you're done with the forcing moves, look at some ways to figure out what the threat is. Go back a moment. If nothing works, go back a moment and remind yourself, what was the threat again? Rook f2. Okay, none of the forcing moves worked. Let me try to stop that move. That's how I do it. Now, I don't know if it's the perfect way or not. Everyone's gonna tell you something different, but this is how I do it. As you can see, I'm not trying to hide anything from you, and I blunder a lot, you know, in my mind. I blunder quite a lot. Yeah, rook f1, so he's doing the same thing, but the problem is probably that now, yeah, how is this different? Well, we were keeping this bishop stuck in e6, so now let's make it red. So now if you take, right, and then we take back with the queen, this bishop is stuck, you got nowhere to go, the bishop is hanging, right? But rook f1, which was played in the game, still allows bishop d5, so white loses a bit of his advantage, because pawn for the exchange, white's king is weak, this bishop's not doing so great. I feel that, okay, now the game is back to, you know, chances for both sides. Not much has happened in this game. Moving on to Ronan's game, let's catch up with this Marzi bind. Okay, improvement, very nice by Ronan, step by step. Trading that bishop would have been fine. Okay. And finally, he tries to trade some pawns. Okay, he has some chances to try to continue his improvement. Obviously, he has to take back. There's probably some move later that kept both of the players thinking, but yeah. What have we got here? Oh, this is that endgame that I was saying, probably a draw. Looks like white was able, however, to win a pawn. How did that happen? Or was he not? Yeah, b4 was played, I see. So black gave that pawn intentionally with the purpose of being able to put pressure on it later. Yeah. Okay. This was a win we've seen earlier. Was this a win that I wanted to choose? I don't know. Haven't made up my mind in the open section which game was my favorite of the round. Okay, when we looked at this game earlier, it was kind of equalish, but you probably have to find only moves. I don't know. Should we go bishop d1? It looks kind of... But we kind of have to. Pressure. Oh, yeah, it's a pity. You can't go rook c2 because this knight will be hanging. So you need to trade off everything. And this was the queen endgame. Oh, okay. They were just... Wow, lots of people streaming right now. Everyone is streaming. I guess this is the time. This is the time of streams. Oh, look at that. Ted is improving slowly. Oh, this was nice. This is nice. So because of the extra space, black is attempting to utilize, he has attempted, we have already seen how he's done it, to utilize the long diagonal to activate the queen and circle around to actually get to the weakness in b3. I love what he's done here. I don't know what that queen is doing in a2, to tell you the truth. I mean, I like queen d2. Maybe even queen c2, just try to trade. Although, wait. The king and pawn is lost, right, actually? This king kind of advances that way? Yeah, we couldn't. Okay, so queen c2 was a non-option, but queen d2 I was played as fine. So why didn't white attempt the entrance of the queen over there? He used to try to get some draw. He needs to. Like, this is important. This is very important. Yeah, he was trying to play for some tactical ideas, but back and forth like that does not work. Now that pawn in b3 is attacked, and you know the trade of the queens could give black, because of the more space, the chances to win, so you're trying to avoid them. But now look at this beautiful idea created by black. So now he's gonna have queen a2 no matter what. Queen a2 and trading, winning the pawn in b3. Queen c1 allow queen c3 anyways. And now the second pawn is falling with check, so black is on his way to win this game. He needs to dodge some checks and make sure that his king, you know, will not suffer a perpetual, but other than that, he's on. And look at the time difference. Wow. Ted's been playing really fast. Nice for him. Okay, so this was my game. No, I did choose, right? I didn't choose, but I feel like this should be the game I'm choosing, right? For the open section, rook c1. You guys remember this moment when I was so excited about the bringing of the rook, and then this game was just, looks like, is it over? It's over now. So this is definitely the game that I want to show, so I'll leave it in this moment so that I remind myself to show it, because it was such a beautiful finish. This game was a win by black. Oh, interesting endgame we got here. Rook versus bishop and pawn. This should be a draw. This should be a draw. I mean, definitely white should play h4. Keep the pawn, bring it to h6, and just make sure he doesn't get mated. But yeah, this will be fun. Yeah, rook c1, great stuff. Great stuff. So this might be a draw. This was this the Evans? I think this was the Evans. Looks like white somehow is has trapped the rook, but how do you actually win it? Knight b3. It's still not winning it because the rook runs away. OMG. This rook is trapped. What is white's way to win the rook? Let's come up with a way. Cause look at that. It's got nowhere to go, right? The knight's restricting, the pawn's restricting, the knight's restricting, the rook's restricting. Everything is restricted. But how do we win the rook? That's my concern. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Ah, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, let's focus. One path would be just march the king, but where do you bring it? Bring it to c1 to keep your knight protected, and then you move the rook. Maybe that's a plan. The plan. Now, where was the king? So should we just march and march and march and march? I think that would work. That would have worked. So what's so special about king h2? Where is he going with his king in h2? Is he trying to go some g3, h4 and trade and stuff like that? Maybe. Maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe rain, maybe snow. Let's hope no snow. Although I like snow, but not when I need to travel. If rook f2 was rook f2 check, he could win. Yeah. If rook f2 was a check, I agree. Yeah, he could win the rook, but rook f2 is not a check. So, what's his plan now? He played g4. He's attracting black. He's saying play f5, play f5, play f5. That's the only thing I can think of that he's trying to do. I got no idea what else. Why else? Oh, guys, he finally played a b3, but then we got the winner. The rook is going back to a6. It's not trapping it. Did he have enough? It's like, I'm not gonna trap that rook. Might as well just go back. Like, what was the plan? No, you're not trapping the rook. He just wanted his knight to be free. I get it, Winston, but come on, just march, protect, and go. Was a bishop d3 even a thing? Like, maybe that's why he didn't do it? Because there's this idea with a bishop in d3, but there was no idea with the knight here. So, like, it's just, I'm just confused at this point. Why? Why did you? Why did you? Hmm. Hmm. This allows black some kind of activity, not much. I mean, he's up already a piece. I'm just saying, like, you just want to win the rook, you know? It's just, anyways. That concludes our recap of the open section. Let's move on to the ladies section, the girls section. On board one, what have we gotten? So we had this position for a while, right? And I mentioned that very likely this game could end in a draw, but it's a night end game. It's a night end game, and night end games are always super mega hyper tricky. The trickiest kind of end games that there ever were. Yeah. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. It's easy to blunder. I mean, both players have some weaknesses, of course. But this knight in d5 is kind of nicely, slightly better placed. It's more active a bit, but there's no entrances. I mean, you got knight c3 check, right? And then you just go right back with white, and then, okay, you can go back. Otherwise, white's gonna play knight here at some point. Well, not yet, but at some point. So, okay, this game very likely could end in a draw. Very, very likely. There's a lot of chance for that to happen. How are you feeling about this position? Rook e7. Rook e7 is a nice activating move. Maybe rook e1. Or could get knight c4 first, threatening that, and we're basically threatening check. Rook here, takes, knight here, check rook. That could be a plan for white. Maybe knight c4. Sophia is still thinking in this position. It's a nice potential activating kind of move. This is my game. This is my chosen game. Chosen game in this section, definitely. And I'll try to see if I can flip the board. How do you flip the board? You guys know how you flip the board? You'll have to teach me how to flip the board whenever I do the recap for YouTube to make sure that it will be flipped, because I want to see it from Black's perspective, although I'm not sure if I'll remember all the moves. Not the best. How many of you here are able to flip the position in your head and just like kind of be able to replay it exactly like after only having seen the game once, just be able to replay it and just replay the whole game with the position changed. Can you guys do that? Because I'm having trouble. I don't know why. I shouldn't have trouble, but I do occasionally. This game is headed for a draw. Erin won this one. Remember, like there was that blunder. Ron forgot about her knight in g4, so it was knight takes c8, and then that bishop fell. Did was there some stuff missed here after bishop there? No, I think just.com's engine is just acting out. There's a big chance that this position is way further than this moment, and the moves are not updating. Which game was this? Was there some sacrificial ideas here that we missed? Oh no, this was the game where white won the exchange. Yeah, black just blundered the exchange, and then she went on to win the game. With those A and B pawns, it's kind of hard to stop them. And then okay, unexpected blunder, or maybe who knows, maybe she resigned and then they made a few moves on the board. Well, like white's position, did anything change in this one? This was over. This was over. Oh, Olivia lost. Sad. She had an okay position. She did play rook b1 like I suggested, rook g6, bishop e3. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, so g3, allow bishop takes, right? And now white's just losing the queen, right? And okay, you can still play here because you got the rook. You got the rook and the bishop, but after rook e8 you can't really play anymore because rook h1 is threatened and everything falls. So my question to you guys is, what was white's defensive move in this position to stop the threat of queen h2 mate? You guys know? What was white's defensive move that would avoid the mate and maintain pretty okay position? The answer is I think it's rook d1. You give a check and you hide here. So yeah, black will be able to take this pawn, but I don't know. We also have queen takes f7 or something. Should we trade queens or should we trade enough taking f7, maybe queen g4 check? Right? And you need to figure out where you're moving the king. And what's the best approach for black here? Probably something like this we could do. And now, you know, if you go to on the d file, of course, we can capture the queen. If you go back on the f1 or e1, then we got this rook g1 check and grabbing the queen with the queen. So you cannot do that, of course. That's why in this position, if this happens, you can just trade queens if you want. This will avoid being scared that anything would happen to your king, and then you can just improve your rook, get activity. That's basically yeah. Yeah. Okay. What's been going on in this game? Oh, Amy is having a good position, right? She just wait, she doesn't need to take. She can just take the rook, right? Actually, she can just take the rook. How did this happen? Because the position was not so bad for white. Rook c8. And now so queen d6 was a blunder. So maybe white should have just gone queen b5. You know. Yeah, queen d6. So I think Catherine just missed this bishop f8. Bishop takes b4. And now, okay, you trade queens, but okay, this does not really help you much. And if you move the rook, you're losing this pawn. So yeah, this kind of a tough blunder that she made there. And now, you know, black is on the way to win this position. Which was this game? Ah, the two extra pawns for white, yeah. Okay. We don't know what happened in this game because no more moves showed up. We've seen this win. Oh, this is that endgame that I was mentioning to you about that it was the draw, remember? Like if it was kind of equal for a while. And wait, so white is now on the way to win? Because I thought black was kind of chasing king a4. Oh, Allison went towards the wrong pawn. This pawn is good. You want to go for that pawn with the rook, not with the king. Um, Interesting. Interesting. Well, white played rook d6 instead of king c5. King c5 would have been nice. Rook d6. Okay, so Allison is doing the right thing, trying to bring the king this other side of the board. Okay, so what happened? Why not king c3? King c3 seems more close, keeping the king. Maybe, I know what Allison was trying to play for a win. She was trying to go rook c2 to trade rooks. Yeah, but now, oh no. Oh, now she's leaving the 7th rank weak. Oh, that was a bad decision for Allison, because now she leaves the 7th rank weak, and oh my goodness. Yeah, if you give up that pawn, there's not so much to do. She's just focusing, but I don't know what was the king b2 though. What's the idea of king b2? She just I think she lost track a bit about how important it is to keep those pawns protected. And now Sarah's on her way to win this, because first pawn down, second pawn down. Okay, not really, but now this endgame should be lost because second pawn down, and now we got two. And let's see if black will be able to defend this, but I doubt it, because usually two pawns like that, supported by the king and the rook, unless you blunder. Oh no. Oh, this will be a tough loss for black, because like you had a pretty fine position, and this is the problem when you're the highest rated player. There's this need of trying to play for a win sometimes, and when you're trying to do that, okay, they're gonna play longer here. But when you try too hard to play for a win, sometimes bad things can happen, and it can be tough. But listen, it can happen to everyone. You need to be mindful and always be objective to the position that you get. Don't let the rating influence you. Don't let, someone is weaker, you need to win against them. Of course, normally on paper, yes, you should win against them, but you don't know how good, how much informed your opponent is, and you always want to consider that your opponent is going to do the best kind of decision. Looks like this game has ended in a draw. What's been going on in this game? So I had that suggestion with knight c4, but white went for g4 instead. g4, g5, trying to improve a bit the position, and now rook e7. Okay, so now, you need to move this rook first somewhere, but this, yeah, you can go rook here maybe, and then try to put the knight here, and just have that rook takes f7, knight d6 idea, but we'll see. We will see about that. Oh, sorry, what did I do? This is the game. This is the game. That's why I left it here. This is the game I want to choose for the YouTube clip later. That's why I left it there. We know it was a win. This knight bishop endgame is still being played. What to expect in this game? I think it will end in a draw, definitely. I mean, the more pawns get off the board, the more chances there are for a draw for sure. That was the win we've seen. Draw in this position. Draw in this position? No. Wait, the position didn't have fully all the moves. No, this is not correct. But it says draw. Those moves definitely did not happen, but I guess the two players drew. White won this one we've seen. I guess there's some DGT errors in some of the positions. We've seen that mate, we've seen this one. This was a tough loss for Olivia here with bishop takes g3 for sure, because, you know, she could have played move the rook away and keep her king safe. That's all that was needed. I think she was just too focused on the pawn, which wasn't as important because activity was more important in that position. And now we got, yeah, this was the blunder that Catherine did. Queen d6, which allows bishop f8, bishop takes b4. Very nicely found by Amy, and now she wins an exchange and can go on to win the game. Okay. Okay, this is a win by Ashley. We didn't understand what happened in that game. Okay, win. So we only have a couple of games remaining. Okay, so for some reason, you know, this is one thing I don't understand so much, and I don't know. I'm curious about the chat's opinion about it. If you were a coach, would you tell your students, like, up to which point would you tell your students to play until mate? Like, up to which level would you tell them that they should play till mate? That's my thing, like, my question. Because I remember my parents told me quite early on my chess career that, you know, if it was playing someone stronger and it was kind of obvious that I was gonna lose, you know, no more chances to try to create any swindling ideas, then they told me that I should resign. It's like, you know, if it was obvious that there was nothing else that could be it, they told me that I should resign. But lately I've been coaching kids who are not my private students, just like when I was a coach for World Cadets, or when I was a head of delegation, I was watching the games, or simply sometimes when I do commentary for US Chess for the Nationals or this tournament, or, you know, like, what is the moment that you think your students should resign? Because I've seen kids who are like 1700 and they still play till mate, and I'm like, okay, 8, 9 years old till 10 years old. I mean, I don't know. I feel like to the point where they feel like they would be disrespecting their own rating range when not resigning. No, it's not this thing. It's just like, first of all, like, you keep suffering there. Like, you know you're lost and you just keep staying there, and you know you're gonna lose. And like, I've done that in the past, but not, I don't stay till mate, but I've done it in the past where I, you know, tried to play like more moves. It was obvious I was totally lost. I had a piece down or something, not much to do. I usually resign with a piece down. But, you know, to the point that I was, oh, what did Shonak do? Shonak is not, oh, he lost. It went back from here. Yeah, like, to the point where, you know, you reached a level of 1700. I mean, at that point, you know how to mate king queen versus king, right? I think even someone who's 1400 can do that, or lower. that's one of the first things I teach when I take students. And then the parents are like, why are you teaching this? They never get into that position. Yeah, maybe not right now, but they need to be able to visualize the board and understand the finish, how to finish a game when you're winning. But I'm just curious about this. It's not about being respectful towards the opponent. I of course you have to be respectful from specific criteria, but what I mean is, you just for yourself, because you're making yourself feel so sad. Like, I can't believe I played this. I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna go back to my room and my parents will not be happy, and I can't believe I did this. And you're just sitting there and just making yourself more sad. I think it's best to just, take a moment, take a deep breath. I messed up, I blundered. Let me go back to my room and, get some rest before the next round. Like, today there's just one round, so I guess it doesn't make sense I'm asking the question today. But it's just the idea, like, I just feel this makes them sad, and some coaches do tell their kids to play, because I did coach once this girl who was 1700, and I asked her and her parents, why is she still playing? I mean, obviously her opponent knows how to mate. Why was she still playing with a rook down? It's gonna be mate, like, stay there another half an hour, 40 minutes for her opponent to finish off the game, because they had to still write the moves, and it just seemed a bit too much, in my opinion. You just, I don't know. You test a bit your opponent, and I think if they know the technique, you can do that still, right? To see if they know the technique, and if they know it, just go away. Go away from that game. Just save yourself some energy for later, and that's my approach. But no, it's an open conversation. I'm happy to hear your guys' thoughts about it, of course. So here, yeah, looks like Shonak was over pushing and allowed black way more activity, because this is these are much weaker than black's pawns, and yeah, he should have given that check. I think we talked about it, that check first, and then here, and there was a difference somewhere. I don't know how, but there was a difference compared to the game where, yeah, now he went rook c8. No, she should still take here. This idea with bishop h6, I don't know. I mean, it's just a nice trap, but sadly for him, look at that bishop. It got stuck in h8. So you're basically playing without a piece. Yeah, sure, you try to maintain somewhat of a balanced position otherwise, but that bishop is just dead. You won't be able to survive much. Tough loss by him. Nice win by Aditya Das. What happened here? Oh, this was that extra piece position, right? With queen c6. Yeah, this was over. Okay, white's up in exchange, and that big pawn promotes. This was a rook endgame we stopped earlier, and I was suggesting king f6 e5 instead. Let's see if the game finished with a draw or not. Maybe white has found some way to improve the position further. Rook there. Why not rook c6? Because if you go here, check, we don't care about that pawn when we are promoting this one. If you do something like this, I think I can go, maybe not that yet, maybe here first, or maybe e5 first. E5 first, and if you come here, now rook here, or even rook e8, but rook e7. These pawns will be much faster than black's b pawn for sure. Okay, so white is definitely better, just needs to find that right moment to play rook c6 and put the rook behind. And if you go king d7, rook a6, and this pawn will fall, right? Just needs to find the right moment to do that, and white will have a big chance there to win. This game was a draw. Ah, looks like black did go. Wait. Oh, instead of going rook c8, right? He could have gone rook c8, and now he's going for the endgame, but white has the entrance that he forgot about. Oh, I don't think this is winning anymore. F4, the right moment, because this king is behind. Oh, Henry must not be very happy about this. And white found all the right moves. F4, trade the pawn. F5, trade another pawn. And now this is king g6. This is it. I think this is the move that's easy to miss. Threatening king g7 and f7 pawn. And yeah, you have to push, and now this should be a draw. I mean, okay, you're gonna try some checks and take that pawn, but yeah, this should be a draw. Okay. Wow. What a nice save by Leo. This was definitely a nice save. I mean, look at the position, right? So we had this position here, right? This is one of those end games. I need to do it at the end because I need to make sure this gets clipped too. This is way too good not to get clipped. So I'm gonna leave it here to clip for later, and I'll explain it later. Because otherwise Brian will not know where to cut, and I don't want to give him too much extra work. Oh, nice finish. Nice finish. I'm gonna explain that. So you guys, it's not gonna take much longer. The games are almost finishing. So we'll definitely have a review for that. Okay, 2 rooks. Okay, that's a win for white. Okay, they're still playing, but that's over. What happened in this game? Did they draw? Did they? Looks like probably a draw because there's a perpetual. But what was white winning here? Ooh. Ooh la la. Is this a thing? No. Sorry, not that. Is this allows rook c1? Wait, how is white winning in this position, guys? Let's find it. It says +4. So Stephen must have saved himself through the threads. Is that an expression? I don't know. The threads of saving oneself from the loss. So what happened basically in this position? Rook takes a7, rook takes c4. I guess you can't take because of this, right? So that's quite obvious. So rook a8, king c7, and this was the blunder which allowed for the perpetual, and the players have agreed on a draw because there was nothing else to do. But in this position, white has a move after which it's winning. Oh, maybe it wasn't a draw. I don't know. It showed a draw. Why did I get back to this? What about queen a2 here? No, black probably can just trade and queen b7 and he's up a piece. How is white winning in this position, guys? Was there something better here, though? Could we play queen a2 here? No. What about rook a6? It's rook c1. This rook c1 is just a killer move as a threat. So what is the winning idea for white in this position? Help! Help me! Help me find it! I know it's something with the queen coming into the play, and I don't wanna look at the engine. I do not want to look at the engine. This is like queen d2? And a bishop takes c5 is some threat that you need to be mindful about. What is queen f2? King f2. Could king f2? No, bishop takes c5. King f1? No. Like, if it's queen f1, I'm gonna die. Or e1. No, thank goodness, it's not it. It's not a bad move, but it's not it. It's just like... Is it queen d1? No, but after this he played king c7. You play king c7. Not a trivial move to find. Well, we need to find it because this looks like totally crushing for white, and like it doesn't seem like it is, but it should be something kind of fun here for white. I don't know what, but it's just too nice. Like, I feel that it's a super nice move that we need to find here for white. Why don't you feel excited about trying to find the best possible move here for white? I feel like we should be excited to find it because, like, look at it. It's mate. Yeah, inner tile. We wanna see your inner tile. I'm telling you, it's something with, like, probably it wasn't that check. Like, the check doesn't do anything because you don't do anything. You need to bring your queen. I'm telling you for sure. Like, it's a queen move. I don't know how or why or how, but maybe here. Maybe it matters where you do it. Because basically what happened, so this is how the game went, right? So he just gave a perpetual because there's nothing. But if he somehow had the queen, maybe here, instead of this check, we could have gone queen d2. Oh! Queen d2, queen d2. Yes, 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 yes. Queen d1. No, but the rook is hanging. Queen d2 escaping that. What's he gonna do after queen d2? Queen d2. We're threatening that. But what's the threat, though? Okay, it looks nice. But what's the threat? Just simply rook a8, rook a7, rook queen d7 mate. No defense, I think. But what about bishop c5? Because this is the move that I was scared about. Takes, takes, takes. You're loving this commentary? Oh, thank you, Juno. I appreciate you. Thank you. I try my best. King h1. And that king will not escape. I mean, that king is super weak. So Steven totally saves this. This is actually quite a nice, instructive position, I'd say, basically, because like Queen d2. But not after Rook a8, right? The problem I kept thinking, and I was stuck there for a while, but then the problem with this move is that, you know, if you do anything, your Rook is hanging, you know, they just take it and then you got nothing. Steven! You survived, Steven! We were just looking at your game. I don't know. I was stuck in trying to find how white was winning here. Did you realize? You saved yourself, which is good. Nice save. Now you gotta find the power to get back, Steven. Did you see? Did you see this move, Queen d2? Because it took me like 10 minutes to find. Which I think it's it. The bar doesn't change, so I'm just assuming I did not doing extra checks. Is the bar that I'm letting myself guided by. Are you gonna play in the Blitz, Steven? I think there's a Blitz this afternoon or something. But nice save here. I think Queen d2 is just too hard to deal with things. You will play the Blitz. All right. Get some energy on, have some food, you know. And remember, this is just it was a nice save. You should feel good about it. It was a nice save. Your king was in danger. You gotta find your way back into the game. Blitz and something. Don't think about the rating, Steven. Just come up with some good black openings. I feel like you're getting slightly worse positions, if I may say, if you don't mind. At least yesterday seemed like you had also a tough position out of the opening with black. So you gotta come up with something and get your counterplay at some point. You seem like you would be playing kind of nice with some counterplay. I don't know what. Don't ask me what. But you know, don't look at the rating. You just try to play good chess, and remember, just try to take it one game at a time. That's the very important thing there. You know, one game at a time. Okay, moving on. What did Ronan do? Ronan was pressing, but it was just kind of equalish, right? They're still playing. Oh my goodness. But, ooh, Ronan was able to get some activity. Rook and Knight are creating threats. As long as he doesn't lose on time, because he's kind of low there. Okay, this game is a draw. This is the game that possibly is my game of the day, I think. That's why I left it here. This looks like it may go for a draw. Trading. Okay, this game should be ending in a draw. This was the game that Ted was able to improve, right? Remember the queen maneuvers? White made the mistake to allow black to infiltrate, and the queen infiltrated this way. Came to a1, then c3, grabbed those pawns, and now black is up 2 pawns. And I think, I mean, he should be able to win. I'm not sure if he won this or not. Maybe he gave some counterplay. Why did he play king b5? Okay, some mistakes on both sides, but as long as you're not blundering a mate, you should be set with black to win this endgame. I like how Ted keeps giving checks and then grabs a pawn each step of the way. At some point, those A and B pawns should be pushed. Oh, this game is over actually. Oh, he finished off with a check win. Okay, nice. This is the game. No, this is my game of the day, right? Which one is my game of the day? This one or the other one? I don't know. this moment. I think I'm gonna give Brian a lot of stuff to cut. He will not be happy. It's okay. It's okay. We can make him mad. We're creating content, right? Isn't that the approach? Uh-oh. Careful about the H-pawn. It's going. Okay, now this game end in a draw? There's no progress. You have to stay to stop the H-pawn. Okay, did they play? How many moves did they play? Okay, they finally agreed on a draw here. There's no progress, right? You have to stay to stop that pawn. Okay. Oh, we're gonna see a knight and bishop mate. Okay, this is something you can play on. I would definitely say play this on, because I mean, you know, knight and bishop, they need to actually know how to do it, and these kids are 8. I don't know if they know how to do it or not. How long has this game been going on? Sorry, like after the pawn was taken. So this is move 79, and this is move 95, and he was able to bring the king down, and he's got the knight on the right path. So I think he's good to go. He's bringing the knight on the right path. He should be good to go to win this. But this you definitely should play, but others, not so much. My kid will never reach this position. Why are you making them do this practice? That's what you usually get. I mean, Juho, that is exactly, yeah, that's what I'm getting. Trust me, that's what I'm getting. And then they get it and they win, and then they're like, oh, thank you so much for telling them to do it. I didn't think it was that important, but listen, you know. Okay, just to make a small joke. Okay, I have a lot of respect for parents who are able to support their kids to play chess and do what they um want, and you know, just help them continue improving their game, right? I mean, of course there's gonna be things that they don't know why they are so important, because, and there's also, you see, these days compared to older times, there's so much information out there, and parents want to try to get as much to help their kids, and I totally understand that, but sometimes it can actually have an influence on the partnership and continuous progress of the kid together with the coach, because in a way you are simply um if the kid doesn't have sufficient confidence in the coach to understand that whatever the coach is teaching is, or the way the coach is teaching is the right kind of approach, then it just doesn't go on the right path in a way, you know. So it's very important to think about that when you try to bring in a lot of external factors, you know. They have a good amount of time to figure this out. I don't think I'm gonna stay until this game ends. I might show it to you guys tomorrow if you want to, but I think I'm getting ready to do the YouTube reviews shortly, because we trust them. No, I mean, we'll say at the end of the video I will check that game to see what happened, but I don't think I'll stay till the make, because it's 40 minutes. It's possibly 40 minutes, and you know, if it's kind of clear, we don't need to. What? No, king e4 was played in this position, which allows bishop d6. Bishop d6, and then trades, and then black is gonna win, because this is gonna be a far away pass pawn that black can create. Despite the fact that white is up a pawn, like, you can't make that move. This whole thing, king f3, is also not good. Yeah, no. Oh, that's a tough blunder there, and black played it. Okay, now she's trying her best to keep, you know, to not to lose a piece. I feel for her. Actually, isn't this winning a bit faster even for black? Because, like, I can take the rook the next move, and I'm just promoting. This is even much faster for black. I would go for this, because it just makes my life easier. You're pinned, so you're not going anywhere. This check, sorry, after a5, this check doesn't do anything. We just move the king back. The rook is still pinned. You go there, we take, and we're up a bishop. If you take a3, if you try to get in the box, you won't make it anyways. Okay, but looks like black decided to kind of keep the exchange up, and okay, now she's gonna have to try a bit harder. It's gonna take a bit longer, but eventually that a pawn will, okay, she's going for it. Okay, and she won. Nice. I think the other way was a bit, easier, but it's, this is the game, my game of the day. Today that I'll go over. The girls are still playing this endgame, which very likely will end in a draw. As soon as you push and trade one more pawn, the one of the knights will be staying in front of it. The other one might even sack. That was a win. This was a draw, suspicious draw. We don't know what actually happened. Okay, I think everything is kind of over. Yeah. When you see a solution, you sometimes don't try too hard to find a cleaner solution. Yeah. I mean, I do because I'm too creative. But yeah, sometimes it's hard to come up with that. So this would be my game of the day that I'll be showing here. As for the open section, and we'll be back to it. Just remember before I leave to show you that in the open section there are a few games that were quite good that I wanted to kind of do a review on. Let's see. What did I decide to choose? This endgame was quite a nice one that I wanted to kind of bring it to the attention, I think, because was this the one? I don't know if I will do a clip on this. Is black? Yeah, he lost the second pawn. Okay, this is winning for right now. Yeah, because just white is able to push black's king back every time it checks, and eventually it will be won.